Hey y'all, I got done with this book right here, so let's take a few minutes to talk about it. This book is part true crime story and part biography. So the first portion of the book talks about a case that happened in Alabama in the 1970s, where you had a man who was a preacher and who was accused of unaliving 5 members of his family for insurance money. He is then unalived by someone else, and the man who was the preacher's lawyer winds up defending his unaliver. So the case was really interesting. The last portion of the book is actually a biography of Harper Lee, and she is associated with this case because she was researching it for a book that she did not write. So the last portion of the book is a biography of her. I learned a lot of interesting things. The case was an interesting read, and I learned a lot about Harper Lee. I did not know that she was childhood friends with Truman Capote, and I don't think I knew that she helped him research for In Cold Blood. She went to Kansas with him. She recorded a lot of observations and interviews, and quite frankly, I'm kind of thinking that if she hadn't been with him, he may not have been able to write that book, because the people in Kansas were not real open to talking to him, but they liked her, and she was more personable and felt more trustworthy, I think, than he did. And probably rightfully so, because I also learned that some of the things that he wrote in Cold Blood did not actually happen. He embellished some things, which doesn't really sit well with me. If you're writing true crime, I feel like you should stick with facts, and he did exaggerate a few things. So I learned a lot. There were a few things in this book, however, that I felt were unnecessary to the story. I did not need a whole chapter about the history of life insurance in order to understand that this preacher was unaliving people for insurance fraud. I didn't need to know that. I also didn't need like a page and a half to 2 pages of the history of the court system in Alabama. Didn't need that either. So there were a few things in here that felt a little unnecessary, but overall, this was a pretty interesting read.